Well, fellas, thanks for meeting with me. I'm glad we get a chance to kind of go over things before we get into our season opening weekend down in Kentucky State this weekend. Just want to kind of go over things, make sure we're all on the same page. I'm feeling pretty confident about our talent level this year with a mix of good young talent and some returning veterans. But Coach Bazil, you're in charge of the outfielders. Why don't we start there? Why don't you take us around the outfield?
Personally, I'm extremely excited about this outfield class. In right field, returning Garrett Emling, senior this year. You know, Garrett's known for outfield assists. He's got a great arm out there. You know, I'm looking forward to what Garrett's going to do for us out there in right field. Center field also returning with Aaron Lindgren.
Yeah, Aaron.
Aaron covers a ton of ground. Great center fielder. Great work ethic. He's gonna be there. He's going to track down a lot of fly balls for us, you know, and just overall, Aaron's a great player, and I'm extremely excited about Aaron. And also Luke Rayleigh, freshman in left field this year, another guy, work ethic, you know, out of this world. Great arm from left field. He's going to cover a lot of ground. Fast guy. All three of the guys can really play the position well and do a lot for us out there. So personally, the outfield class, I'm very excited about.
Yeah, I think that outfield, we have the potential to probably have the strongest outfield from a defensive standpoint and probably even an offensive standpoint across the conference and the board. So I don't think many fly balls are going to drop out there this year.
Coach, what about our infield? There's some solid players there too.
Yeah, you're right, Coach. You know, you've done a great job with our first basemen this year. So let's just go ahead and start there. I think Louis Peterlin's a guy that's been a converted catcher from high school over to college and is doing a fantastic job of filling that position for us. I think he's made tremendous strides since last year and even from the beginning of the year. From the beginning of the year to this year with the actual work that you've been able to give him and put on him. Moving over on the other side of the other spot on the right side of the infield, probably Josh Hudek is going to get a lot of opportunities there for us. Very consistent fielder, does a good job with leadership on the field and just kind of knowing where to be and always in the right place at the right time and making those routine plays that we need. But Dylan Van Dyne is a guy that could get in the mix too, another senior guy for us that is kind of a defensive specialist for us. And I think does a tremendous job for us there if we've got to ever make any changes late in the game or just give some guys some rest or change some things up. I think he's got a real value to this team too this year. And then shortstop could be the best guy in the conference from top to bottom, offensively, defensively. I think Sean Matthews is a tremendous player. It'll be a blessing for us to actually have him for the first time, full-time in his first 2 years. He had some setbacks there where he couldn't be out there at the beginning of the year, but now to have him full-time I think is going to make a huge difference in our defensive play throughout the year. So Sean with the range and the arm and the glove, I think we're very solid there. And then next to him is probably going to be Zach DeCamp. As you guys know, we played a lot of first base last year. He's getting back to more of his primary position, third baseman by trade, and defensively I think that's going to be an uplift for us too. Guy's got tremendous arm and shows some great range, especially to his glove side there. And I'm very excited about our ability to keep the baseball in the infield this year. But it's going to all depend on pitching. We're going to have to get those ground balls to utilize those infielders. So, Coach, you've done a great job with our pitchers as well this year. Why don't you kind of take us through maybe that weekend rotation we got coming into? What are you seeing for this weekend?
You're right about that. I think our pitching staff is definitely going to have a great mix of experience and some youth there too. But our pitching staff, at least the rotation, is where a lot of that experience is going to come in. I think that our 1 and 2, Brad Rayleigh being our #1 starter and Brian Kilway being #2, are going to be one of the best 1-2 combinations that you see anywhere in the league and probably in our region, to be honest. Brad had a great season last year. He throws a ton of strikes, has a plus slider, which is an outstanding pitch. And
that changeup is nasty too.
It is. He's got the ability to mix and match on you, and he really fills up the zone and is really aggressive. And the same can be said for Kilway, a high velo guy. Good splitter. They use as an out pitch, and he can also mix and match with some other things too. I think that Russ Hogue as our #3 is going to be a little bit of a change of pace guy, which will be nice. A little bit more crafty, lots of off speed to go along with that. And then I think at our #4 spot, I think that Heath Kelly is going to make a great transition into our rotation as well. He's worked really hard all throughout the fall and all throughout the winter, and he's earned that opportunity to get a little bit more innings. And I think having a left-handed guy in our rotation too is going to give us a little bit more balance than we've had in the past, and maybe make some things easier for us going up against other teams once they get down in their 3 and 4 too.
Yeah.
But that bullpen is going to be great too. I really do, and I know you like a lot of those guys that are going to come out of that bullpen also.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think guys like Josh Porter and DJ Stasny and Brandon Grunda will supply some experience and some leadership. I think those guys will help kind of gear those younger guys that are going to be a part of that bullpen this year and just kind of pave the way for them and kind of show them how it's done. So I'm excited to see some of those young arms like Austin Previtt and what Parker's able to do to bounce back from his freshman year and have a good sophomore year hopefully this year. So I feel pretty good about that. I know a little bit of inexperience, some new faces in there, and some guys getting more innings, but I think we've done a great job with getting them ready, and they've worked very hard to do that. So sounds like defensively we're going to be able to pretty much hold the fort down. We're going to have a tremendous outfield. I think one of the best in the GLIAC. Shortstop, single-handedly, maybe the best guy there. And then behind the plate, too, something that we haven't talked about, those guys that are going to handle that pitching staff for us. I think we got a two-headed monster right now with Rucker Lukey and Dylan Yankel. Both of them bring a little bit something different to the plate for us from a defensive standpoint. Yankel's a great catch-and-throw guy, and Rucker's going to command a great game and call a good game and block and receive well and give us those strikes that we need that are borderline pitches. So I think we'll have a good balance. Those guys will handle those guys really well for us. And then Vinny Ragnoni, a freshman, our other catcher there, man, that guy's going to do a great job of getting everybody ready out of that bullpen and get them into the game in a competitive state of mind. And hopefully Vinny continues to develop. I think he's been one of our most improved players since the fall. So I'm excited about those three strong catchers that we have right now. As good as we are going to be defensively, though, we got to hit the baseball. And Coach Bazille, I know you've done a great job, and you've worked those guys hard in the cage, and our lifting program has taken a big step forward from what we've done in the past, and those guys are stronger than ever and in better shape than ever. So I'm expecting to see some power out of that lineup this year. Why don't you talk to us about some of those guys that you think will supply the big numbers for us?
You know, as far as power, sitting in the middle of our lineup, Aaron Lingren coming back from past years, coming off a huge season. Aaron Lingren's going to supply a great amount of power in the 4-hole. Also, freshman Luke Raley in the 3-hole. He's going to swing the bat extremely well. He's going to add that power to us. And I think the most exciting part for us is not only the fact that our 1 through 9 is so talented, but the depth that we also have on the bench. It's our 10th guy, our 11th guy, 12th, 13th. You know, it's not necessarily our 1 through 9 that we're going to have to rely on. Dylan Yankel, another guy who swings the bat very well. First pitch fastball hitter. If he gets that fastball, he's going to drive the baseball, and Dylan does a great job with that. Louis Peterlin at first base adds power to our lineup, and there's guys 1 through 9 that can swing the bat, and you know we're gonna hit doubles, triples, home runs at any point during the game, you know, and that's
Absolutely.
an advantage that we
There's
have.
so many guys in that lineup, they're easy to forget, but another guy, Zach DeCamp, who had a phenomenal plus 300 power guy that put up some RBIs too last year from third base. He's going to be another guy that can put up some big numbers for us and drive the ball pretty well to all fields. And I'm excited again about Garrett Emling, senior year. Man, that guy went off in the fall, and I think he's going to fit nicely somewhere in the middle of that lineup as well. But what about some of the other guys, maybe that table setter type guys? Who do we see those guys being this year?
You know, I really think that Josh Hudak is going to be a great asset in the leadoff spot. He's a guy that sees a lot of pitches. He gives us flexibility because he can switch hit from that standpoint. He's got decent speed, can kind of set the table there, and he's a really smart base runner too, which I think is going to give us some flexibility. Tyler Commit, more down towards the bottom part of our lineup, is a guy that's totally turned a 180 from his freshman year. Really struggled. He had a great fall. He's carried that into the winter. A guy that's really earned his opportunity to get some innings at least to start the season, and I think that he's going to have a lot of great at-bats. He's a guy that has a little bit of pop from the pull side too, and I'm expecting good things out of him. Also some speed and a very smart base runner.
Yeah.
Not to mention Sean Matthews too, also
another great bat
in the 2-hole right behind Hudak. Opposite field guy, great opportunity to hit and run. Can lay down the bunt, do some really great things for us out of the 2-hole. As you were saying, defensively, how fantastic he is. He's going to be huge for us in the lineup this year too. Sean's an absolutely phenomenal hitter. So I'm looking forward to having him there.
Yeah, I think also even if when Yankel's not in the lineup and it's Lupke in the lineup catching and whatnot, like we've talked about that two-headed monster, Lupke's another guy who I think is one of our most complete hitters, a guy that's probably not going to strike out a lot, going to be up for a challenge, and with runners on base, I think he's going to be able to step up for us and get those runs across the plate. And I just think from top to bottom, man, we just got a great balance of guys that are going to be tough outs, and then guys that are can be a little bit all or nothing, but more times all than nothing. And I expect us to score a lot of runs and be a strong offensive team in this conference as well. So pretty strong top to bottom, I think, all the way around. Really excited about the staff that we have this year. We got 5 guys on staff this year. Everybody's got a little bit of a responsibility and a professionalism about them. We're all on the same page. Everybody wants to achieve the same things. No one's in it for themselves, and I think that's going to be the biggest difference this year, is that we've got a total team commitment to one goal, and I can't wait to go start to finish from the beginning of the year. Stormy, what do you think, man? Thumbs up or thumbs down?